Because the more that Nugent-Hopkins is out of the lineup here, the worse it is for him, because the Oilers seem to be rolling without him. And I don't want to say they don't need him, because they certainly do, especially for a playoff push. And he's excellent on the power play, but they're clicking on all cylinders without him. And I'm assuming that every day he misses is probably a day that doesn't help him in his negotiations for free agency. What do you think?
Yeah, has he been out 3 or 4 games now?
Well, I don't know. It might even be more than that. I'd have to look to see exactly how many he's been out, but it's been a little while.
Yeah, you're right, though. I mean, they have obviously outside of that stinker there against the Flames, they have played very well without him. Is he? I don't think he's really hurting his value or being out of the lineup per se. I mean, because he wasn't doing much for it when he was in the lineup with the way things are going either. So they're going to need him. You know who they need. They need Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins that we know he can be, not who he has been in the last month or 2 or 3. They need that guy. They need that guy to show up in the playoffs if they're going to make a deep run. So as far as for what maybe it's doing for his value, I think his value is going to be determined more so with what happens over the next in the weeks to come and however long the Oilers playoff run may be and the role he plays within that.
Has it changed anything for you, Colton, watching how this team is kind of rallied without him? He's not long ago, was a really, really big piece of a lot of their puzzle. The power play, their top 6. He was on that top line as a winger, sort of been relegated to lower roles lately. Has it changed the perspective on what you would do if you're Ken Holland, or how big a priority getting the Nugent-Hopkins deal done is now?
I think, like Brian said, just his play earlier, basically his whole year has kind of lowered his value a bit. If he returns and he's the guy like last year, then I think his value is fine and goes back up. But I think it's taken a hit even before the injury. As far as priority goes, I still think there's a big priority to get this signed. And I mean, obviously you want him at his best for the team's sake and for how far they go in the playoffs, but if they might be able to get him at a cheaper deal this year because of it. So it's kind of one of those things. But yeah, I think ultimately how he plays to finish out the season and come playoffs will determine more what his value is.